So getting things done. Think about anything that you have that's an open issue for you. For example, any to-do item, a pet project, personal or business, it doesn't matter. Think about that. Turtles or donkeys. And if you didn't have anything else new coming in, let's see a show of hands here. How many people have more to do in any given day than they can manage to do? How about week? Month?
And the wind is awesome.
Year?
Yeah.
So now if you think about at the rate at which things are coming in, does that change your answer? I mean, how far does that push that up for you?
Death terminates the whole process.
That is true. That is true. But for most of us that are still living, we have heartbeats. Yeah, we need a good way to manage all of this. So the subtitle of David Allen's book, Getting Things Done, is The Art of Stress-Free Productivity. If you take anything away from this talk, my interpretation of what this means is that you feel good about what you're not doing at any given moment. Now, why that's important is because if you can feel good about what you're doing at that moment, you may not still feel good about what you're not doing at that moment. And the way our brains work is if we don't feel good about what we're not doing at that moment, that'll create stress. So if you feel good about what you're not doing at any given moment, then that can help bring you to a state of flow. Athletes consider this the zone, musicians consider it the same thing. So the key point here is feeling good about what you're not doing so that can elevate you to a state of flow. The Getting Things Done approach is a bottom-up approach. A lot of productivity books start from the top down. Define your life vision. This is going to drive all your lower-level activities. But for getting things done, we've made commitments to ourselves. Anything that's a to-do item for you is a commitment to yourself. And the only way that we can feel good about not doing that is if we renegotiate that commitment. So this approach takes a bottom-up approach. Let's manage all the day-to-day things that we need to do. That's the ground level, kind of runway level. And the 10,000-foot view is more the project that you're currently involved in. 20,000-foot view is your areas of responsibility. On up is your 1 to 2 year goals, your 3 to 5 year goals, and then the 50,000 plus is what you want to do with your life. So this takes a bottom-up approach so that we can manage and potentially renegotiate some of those commitments that we've made to ourselves in any given time period within the short term, so that you can elevate yourself up to those higher levels of thinking and really get a handle on what you want to do with your life. If you don't manage those day-to-day things and renegotiate them, it's like if you can imagine a plane that's got a lot of extra luggage and a lot of things hanging off the wings. It can't ever get up to those high levels because it's weighted down too much. And it can't get that boost to get up to the higher levels. This system is very simple. You're just managing lists. There's 4 primary lists, which I'll get to in a moment. There's the weekly review. This ties everything together, keeps your system current. You want to do the higher altitude reviews from time to time. And your calendar is sacred. A lot of times people will put calendar items for things that they think they might want to do that day. But the calendar really has to be sacred. If you have something that you need to get done on a particular day, it goes on your calendar for that day. If it's not time specific, then it's just a little note in your calendar on that day. But if it's time specific, obviously it goes in that time slot. It's a very important point, because if it gets on your calendar and you don't do it, you've not made that commitment. You haven't satisfied that commitment for yourself. We collect things that command our attention. We process them. We organize them into our system. We review them for what we consider what we want to do at any given moment. This is a graphic of how this might flow. You collect stuff. You want to collect everything. It's ubiquitous capture. You want to capture everything so that it's not on your mind. You decide what it is. Can I take action on it? If that answer is no, then it's either going to be trash. It's going to be something you want to do someday, and that's one of your lists, someday maybe. Or it's referenced and you want to file that away so it's easily retrievable. If it is actionable, you want to decide what the next action is. If it's multiple actions, it goes on your project list. That's your second list, projects. That's any multitask item. If it is actionable, if you can do it less than 2 minutes, just do it right then. If you can delegate it to somebody else, if somebody else is better suited to doing it, you do that. It goes on your third list, waiting for. Oh.
What was the name of the book?
Getting Things Done by David Allen.